Shabbat Shalom. I'm not even going to make you do it again. How about that? That was really good. So Rabbi Van is not here today. She was feeling under the weather, and we all decided it was better if she kept her germs to herself. So she sends her regards and Shabbat Shalom, but thankfully is not here sharing that with us today. So, but let's get ourselves into that Shabbat groove a little bit. Ever since we started doing a little bit of breathing on Shabbat, I find myself using that as a technique throughout the week sometimes too, and I find it very centering to do that. So let's take a second and just take a breath in. And as you let that breath go, try to push out the tension. And then take in a second breath. Get rid of whatever's left. Loosen up your muscles. If your shoulders are hunched up near your ears or your neck is tight, just let it go. It feels so good. With this third breath, I want you to breathe in Shabbat, and I want you to hold it for a moment in your lungs. And you can let the breath out, but hold that feeling with you. Hopefully you can keep Shabbat with you for the entire day, tonight and tomorrow, and feel that peace. Hopefully get a break from the crazy. All right, so we are going to start. Our opening song is Shalom Aleichem. It's on page 24. This is the one that you heard for the first time last week, so I thought we'd do it again to give you a chance to tuck it into your brain a little bit better. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's by Daphna Rosenberg, by the way. So we are going to get ready to light our candles tonight. And I heard that Andy is going to come up and read the readings for us. Thank you, Andy. In the meantime, if you want to come up and light candles with us, there are sets at either side, as you know. And please come on up and avail yourselves while Andy is reading. Go ahead.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. Hang on. Go ahead and turn it over. Just a little more.
They didn't tell me. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all of the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziad mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Thank you, Andy. Our opening reading is found on page 7. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world on this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. We turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship, and we rise in body or in spirit. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. We continue together on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, You set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv, Aravim. The Shema is found on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, beshivdecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beineinecha. Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. We turn to page 39 and we read together at the top of the page leading into our Mi Chamocha prayer. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai la lai lai yai lai 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 yai la lai lai yai la lai lai lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehda b'kodesh, nora tehilot dosefele, nora tehilot dosefele. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze anu ve'amru, ze anu ve'ameru. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai la lai lai yai lai 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 yai la lai lai yai la lai la lai. We turn to page 42 and we continue with our Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, Leshalom, Lehamidenu Shomrenu Lechaim, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 We're getting ready to sing the Vishamru, which is on page 44. And I want to share with you this thought from Abraham Joshua Heschel. He said, "The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things in space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to the holiness of time." That one always just gets me in the space. We turn to page 46, and we rise in body or in spirit. We will continue with the Amidah, the central prayer of our service, continuously until we get through page 52. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh HaKol V'Zocher Chaste Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh ukadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu selah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. We're going to turn to page 55 and read together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We turn the page for Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. And for those of you who are online, I invite you to share in the chat any things you are grateful for this week, to lift them up and share with everybody. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah hu melech hadot lechol hashalom. Hu melech hadon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. Let's take time now to offer a prayer for healing, whether it's healing of the body or healing of the spirit. We all know people who are in need. We think of people who are here with us in our own circle of friends and family, and we also think about people everywhere in the world who are struggling with all the craziness that is going on out there, and we hope that they also have that moment of peace. So I invite those of you in the chat, those of you online, to share names in the chat of those for whom you'd like to offer healing to. And here in the congregation, as my hand passes over, I invite you to share a name. Jane, Fred, and Susan. We join together in the Misha Berach prayer. You can read the meanings of it on page 253. I'm doing the Lisa Levine version today, so join me on the parts you know. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the ones who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. With the power of your healing, bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. Prayer and bless us as well. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us strength, show us the way. Berach Avotenu, Misha Berach Imotenu, hear our prayer. prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. We pause now for a moment of silent prayer and reflection. Iul ratzon imre fi, Iul ratzon imre fi, V'hegion libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri v'goali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'ol kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, ve'imeru. Amen. So Rabbi Van had prepared a sermon on this week's Torah portion, which is Tetzaveh. And Rabbi Van is a rabbi, and she's very rabbinic. And it would not have been authentic coming from me. So I read what she had pulled out of it and a couple of other things that I looked at, and I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts about the Torah portion. It's the same theme, different words. So in this week's Torah portion, it opens with the instructions for how to create and maintain a Ner Tamid, right, our eternal light. The verses read, "You shall further instruct the Israelites to bring you clear oil of beaten olives for lighting, for kindling lamps regularly. Aaron and his sons, the priests, shall set them up in the tent of meeting, outside the curtain, which is over the Ark of the Covenant, and it shall burn from evening to morning before the Eternal. It shall be a dew from the Israelites for all time, throughout all ages." Okay. So I lost a piece of my paper here. Okay. So we take seriously the commandment to keep this light burning all the time. I remember when I was a kid, I used to wonder how they did it because I'm like, you know what? There's a light bulb in there. I'm sure of it. So I always wondered how they did it. And I wondered why was it so important, right? It's not a Torah, it's a light. It's not even in the ark, it's outside the ark. And I came across a piece of text from the Iturei Torah. It's an anthology of mostly Hasidic sources. And they picked up on the phrase that it's placed outside the curtain. If the light was further away from the commandments, what was the meaning of the symbol? The commentary taught something profound and kind of beautiful. Because the light is outside the curtain, this is kind of like the streets and the marketplaces, right? So it's not only in the sacred places, it's out with us. It's out where we are living our lives every day, right? So there's a midrash in the Shemot Rabbah that comments on the verses also and says, for the mitzvah is a light, because just as a light is not diminished when a flame is kindled from it, he who does a mitzvah is not thereby diminished in his possessions. So I really like that, right? So to these rabbis, the Ner Tamid is a metaphor, and it's a metaphor for the light in all of us. It's not just the light of godliness. But it's also a light that is infinite, it's shareable, and it's a source of goodness for us to share with the rest of the world. The idea that we Jews are custodians of a personal Ner Tamid is also found in another teaching from the Iturei Torah, which says every Jew must light the Ner Tamid in his own heart. So each of us has, of a sort, our own Ner Tamid, an ever-present flame for us to access when we need it the most, waiting for us to bring mitzvot into the world, limitless in its capacity, and can be shared always. So let's sing about that. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time in case you weren't with it. That's a little bit. Nice try, Deb. I'm gonna let it shine. I should just sing. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. For the Torah portion, I'm guided by my Ner Tamid. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm guided by my Ner Tamid. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm guided by my Ner Tamid. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I'm gonna take my light around the world. Gonna take my light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Gonna take my light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Gonna take my light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I won't let anyone blow it out. I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And once more for good measure. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine like you mean it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let's continue now with our Aleinu. You will find it on page 267, and we rise together in body or in spirit. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. We turn now to our time of remembering. The reading is not found in your book. It's written by Laura Gilpin from the Siddur Kol HaNeshama. It's called Life After Death. These things I know, how the living go on living, and how the dead go on living with them. So that in a forest, even a dead tree casts a shadow, and the leaves fall one by one, and the branches break in the wind, and the bark peels off softly. And the trunk cracks, and the rain seeps in through the cracks, and the trunk falls to the ground, and the moss covers it. And in the spring, the rabbits find it and build their nest inside the dead tree, so that nothing is wasted in nature or in love. On this Shabbat, we remember those who have been taken most recently from our Temple family: Joseph Joey Bauer, Lee Rubenstein. And we mark the anniversaries of death, the yahrzeits, that fall on this Shabbat: Sydney A. Amster, Babette C. Anthony, Charlotte P. Beecher, Martin J. Cohn, Sydney I. Davis, Bernard Gilbert, Evan Goldblatt, Samuel Goldhammer, Jeanette B. Good, Bernard Gottesman, Jean Heyman, Gerard L. Hartstein, Helen Heller, Seal Schwab Johnson, Selma Stern Koplik, Martin Cox, Eunice Leisman, Edith Lewendorf, Francis F. Lowenstern, Joseph Luchenitzer, Stanton Luntz, Annette Lusher, Robert Lusher, Lena Metzger, Sophie Olks, Richard Phillips, Harriet I. Porosky, Matthew Porosky, Sylvia B. Rose, Gazella Stoyer Rosenberg, Albert Savrin, Hildegard Darmstadter Stashauer, Lester G. Stepaker, Sidney H. Stern, Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as together we turn to the mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Please rise in body or in spirit. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirite v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shma Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. So, Susan Merdler, I would like to invite you up. There might be an announcement or two you'd like to share.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And first we'll start off with thank yous. Thank you, Deb, for sharing your light with us through the leadership of tonight's service with words as well as music. It was beautiful. Thank you so very much. And we'd also like to thank Delphina Phillips for donating tonight's beautiful bima flowers in memory of Richard Phillips. Thank you also to those people that we don't always see, the dedicated members of our staff and leadership and volunteers as well. And now on to the weekend. It happens to be a holiday coming up, and we're going to celebrate Come One, Come All. The Purim Carnival is this coming Sunday the 5th from 11 to 1. If you've pre-ordered Hamantaschen, remember them at the carnival. If you've not pre-ordered, you might be in luck. There could be some for sale at the carnival. Pints on Purim is coming March 6th. As I was explaining to a colleague, I said to them, this is the only holiday, and I think I'm right, maybe not, stretching the truth a little bit, but that you're supposed to get drunk.
Yeah, you're supposed to get so intoxicated that you can't tell the difference
You don't know
between
good and evil.
right.
So if
Mordecai and Haman.
you're willing to experience Judaism to its fullest, then come on Monday, March 6th at Mulligan's, which is in Highland Heights.
You don't have to get that drunk though, it's okay.
No drinking, no driving, not together. We have rides for you. Also on March 10th, a week from today, Friday, there'll be a Come Grow With Me for kids. Kids can come in costume and enjoy the story of Esther. On that very same Friday night, the kids will be in one space, we'll be in our own space. Here at 6 o'clock, the sound of Purim. It may sound familiar like the sound of music. Our very own Deb has designed this Shabbat to be one of music that you won't want to miss. And I understand if you come in costume, you get another piece of challah. Okay, maybe I made that up too. Okay, Kol Nashim Book Club is meeting on Tuesday, March 14th via Zoom. The book discussion is 36 Arguments for the Existence of God by Rebecca Goldstein. For any of these announcements, if you need to make a reservation, please do so with the office in Rochelle. You can email her as well. Also, Kol Nashim is proud to host Jane Rosen, who is the author of A Shoe Story. It's a great book, just heartfelt and uplifting. This is part of the JCC Book Fest. It'll happen on March 16th here at 7:30. Going on to April, we have our retreat, April 15th and 16th at Punderson State Park. We will be joined by Rabbi Van, Rabbi Shauna, Deb, and other people that you know. We'd love to see you there. Again, make sure that we know that you're coming by letting Rochelle know that you are interested. Shabbat Shalom and have a great week, and think home and Tashin and of your costume.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you,
Shabbat
Susan.
Shalom.
Okay. So I had so much fun with I'm going to let it shine, my little light, right? This little light of mine, that I thought maybe you were over the shock of it and we'd do it as the closing song also. So now that you're in the groove, let's sing. And online, I believe you have the lyrics. You guys just have to follow me. Okay. I should have done this with a honky-tonk piano. That would have been fun. All right, here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time with this little light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I'm guided by my Ner Tamid. I'm guided by my Ner Tamid. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm guided by my Ner Tamid. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm guided by my Ner Tamid. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I'm gonna take my light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Gonna take my light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Gonna take my light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Won't let anyone blow it out. I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Got your earworm for the week now, right? You're welcome. Okay, let's continue with our Yevarechecha. Feel free to stand if you'd like to for our final blessing. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yes, Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom ve'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift God's countenance to you and grant you the gift of shalom, peace. Shabbat Shalom. And before we go, let's do a quick motzi, and then we'll enjoy our oneg. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'teavon and Shabbat Shalom.